Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to another unusual money making video, the series where I discover unusual money making methods that you guys send me via Twitter, YouTube comments, or any other forms of communication. As you guys probably know if you've seen this series, I try to discover money making methods that you guys had no idea existed, or just weird ways of making a quick profit that you had no idea existed. And usually these videos end with the comments just screaming, "Just do Zora!" But I'm always looking to make a quick profit in an unusual manner because I love making these videos and you guys seem to enjoy them, especially since the last video I made, I got like probably 30, 40 different unusual money making methods. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, okay, it has to be unusual. It can't be something people know. I was, getting messages from people saying, "Hey, pick Mort Meyer fungus." It's like, that's actually a very known moneymaker. So these have to be like weird, like things people actually generally would never do, but you just wouldn't expect them to make you a profit. I have to explain this every video, but I feel like it's necessary. But anyways, let's hop into today's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Proud Numpty on Twitter, aka my man Tom. So he has an unusual moneymaker that requires you to travel to Port Tyrus and buy adamant halberds. So there's this quartermaster guy in Port Tyrus who has a pretty much just a regular general store where he sells regular general store stuff. However, in this general store, he also sells halberds, which you unlock from doing all the quests in the elf area, Iradwan, Tehran nobody even knows what it's called. Now, halberds really are not that popular in old school. All the halberds are generally never used for anything except for the occasional dragon halberd noob who's doing it like black dragons. The crystal halberd is the most used for a special attack on certain bosses, which actually can be very good, but the rest of the halberds not so great. The rune halberd goes for 83k in his score, but only sells for 42k because I believe it's needed for an elite clue. However, the adamant halberd is currently sold for 8.3k in the store, and the GE price is 11.5k. So per halberd, we're making around 3k profit off these. Now, the reason they sell for a bit more in the Grand Exchange is because the adamant halberds are needed for a medium clue scroll. Now, he stocks 10 of each halberd in his store, so ideally, we're going to be buying 3 halberds every time we hop to a different world. If you buy more than 3, the price goes up to over like 9.5k, so you will be making profit off it still, but it's generally better just to buy 3 from each store, hop, and then just buy 3 again, so you're making the most profit possible. The method I'm following was suggested by Tom on Twitter, so I'm just following him. However, if you guys think there's a more efficient way to do this or another way to maximize your profit off this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely try it out again, maybe in the future, if I really enjoy it. So what we're going to be doing is I have 1 mil in my inventory, and with this mil, I will be spending it all on adamant halberds from his store. With this 1 mil, it's going to be really easy to see how much profit I make after I sell all the halberds on the Grand Exchange, so I can just pretty much subtract a mil from it and see how much I made. Now, the fastest way to get to Port Tyrus, as you guys know, is via charter ship, and the fastest charter ship, in my opinion, is the Catherby charter ship, where if you use the Catherby teleport on the lunar spellbook, you're pretty much right next to the bank, and you just have to run down south to the docks and use a charter ship and go anywhere you want, well, to any other charter ship location. However, the Catherby cell is sort of expensive. It's 1k per teleport. It's 3 law runes, 3 astral runes, and 10 water runes, which, I mean, you guys know isn't that expensive. It's only 1.1k. However, there's a cheaper option that only is slightly, I guess, farther away from a bank, and that is the Port Khazard teleport, and that only costs 2 law runes, 2 astral runes, and 4 water runes. And the Port Khazard, as you guys know, there's a bank there, so you can just run there, and there's a charter ship right south of the bank as well, so it really isn't that much farther than the Catherby spell. It obviously isn't going to make the most difference, but it's a way to save a bit of money doing this, and it's not going to waste that much time, so I decided to do it. So my method of doing this is pretty simple, as you guys see in the background. It's really just wearing weight-reducing gear. I have all my teleport runes to Port Khazard in a rune pouch. I have 1 mil in my inventory that I started with, which is probably a little bit lower now in the video, and I just run to the bank in Port Khazard, bank all my adamant halberds, run to the charter ship, take the charter ship to Port Tyrus, run up to the Tyrus camp, talk to the quartermaster, and begin my process of hopping worlds and buying out 3 adamant halberds from the shop. So adamant halberds are one of those items that you just have to leave in the Grand Exchange for a bit of a longer period of time for them to actually sell. So sometimes they sell instantly if there's a demand for them, but generally if you just lower the price, they will sell. But if you want to make the most profit out of it, you just have to wait a little bit longer for somebody to buy it at the price that you want it to sell at. We're not necessarily merching these halberds by putting them at a very high price in hopes that people will buy them. We're just selling it for med price or a little bit lower, just because people will end up buying these that are required for clue scrolls. Thousands of medium clues are done a day. Many people don't have the adamant halberds in their bank or in the stash unit, so they are going to sell over the course of a day. On the Grand Exchange page on the old school website, it shows that they can sell anywhere from 100 to 500 per day, so it's very random. So spending all of my 1 mil took actually only 13 minutes. I timed it. It took 13 minutes to buy 116 of the adamant halberds, which really wasn't that much. So if we put them in a Grand Exchange, as you can see right now, it shows that they will sell for 1,335,856. 6 if they sell for 11,516 GP, as you can see on your screen. However, sometimes they don't go for medium price, sometimes they do. It all comes down to who's buying that day. So right off the bat, we just press confirm for medium price, and we actually managed to sell 29 of the adamant halberds for 336k. So we got a medium price buy right away, 29 of them. Pretty good. Now I decided to go a little bit lower to see if any of them sold instantly. Only one of them sold when we went 5% down on the Grand Exchange. But as I mentioned earlier, these are one of the items that you just have to leave in over a certain period of time, and they actually will eventually sell. So I waited 25 more minutes, and they actually all did eventually sell. Some for like 5 at a time, some for 1 at a time, some for 10 at a time. I don't know, maybe both collections going on, but they all did eventually sell, which is quite nice. So the first batch sold for 11.6k, which you guys already saw, and the second batch sold for 10.9k. Now I definitely could have sold all of them for 11.6k, but that would have taken definitely a day or maybe even longer or maybe less. I don't really know, but I want to try to sell them all as quick as possible so I could, get this up on the video. So when collecting the cash, you can see that I made 1,290,000 GP. So pretty much we made 290k profit in those 15 minutes of buying the adamant halberds. If you add the wait time where they actually sold, then you can, I guess, make a case for it being longer, but it only took 13 minutes, like I said, to buy the halberds themselves. So technically we made 290k in those 15 minutes. However, if you really want to be picky, you can add the runes in that I used to teleport to Port Khazard. That adds up to 3.6k. We took away the 3.6k, which is actually 3,690 GP, and technically we made 286,370 GP off buying adamant halberds in Port Tyrus from the quartermaster. And that is my unusual profit. So thank you again to Tom for sending me this method. I think I made as much as I did last video where I did the rogue outfit at ham members. I made 286k. I think that's more than I made in that entire video. So not a bad method to do. Definitely something people shouldn't, rush to do. It's not necessarily going to work every time, especially if a lot of people do it. However, nobody's ever buying at that shop. I think Iron Men are the only people that maybe will ever even go to that shop to buy the halberds from there, since everything is so cheap in the Grand Exchange. But definitely really cool, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like. Before I end the video, I did actually try to sell the mithril halberds, because on the GE they go for like 33k, and in the store they sell for very cheap, only like 3,380, I believe. So when I sold them for 30k, they didn't sell. When I dropped it down to 10k, they didn't sell. When I dropped it down to 5k, they didn't sell. So the biggest profit margin could be on the mithril halberds. I am going to leave the 7 mithril halberds in the Grand Exchange for 30k, because you never know, somebody may just put a medium price offer in and boom, I made 30k profit. And if all 7 of them sold, boom, I made like 200k profit. So not bad. But yeah, that one doesn't work. I thought you guys might be interested to see if it did. Adamant halberds are definitely the one you should stick with. But yeah, thank you again to Tom for sending it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's unusual money making method video. Another video will be up tomorrow relating to the new update that comes out tomorrow. You guys can look forward to that. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Hope to see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.